Hi and welcome to St. Jude Woodcraft. Today we're going to have a look at Bentwood rings. What are they and how you make them? So Bentwood rings are basically a bent veneer which you laminate into a form. Here's some examples here. Why would you choose a bentwood ring over a carved wood ring? These bentwood rings are a lot stronger, they last a lot longer, and if you're into selling your products you can sell them at a better price, and I think they're possibly easier to make as well. Okay, I'll run you through some of the stuff that you need to make a bentwood ring. It's not too big of an expenditure, and it's something that you can quite easily get and do with a few basic items. So you'll need your wood or your veneer. I think this one here is possibly walnut or dyed oak. You'll need a straight edge, preferably metal for when you're cutting the veneer, and also a sharp craft knife. Some wet and dry sandpaper, or you can get some micro mesh, same thing. That's for when you want to finish your rings. Right, I've also got some CA glue or super glue and an activator spray, cocktail sticks, masking tape. You want a saucepan with some boiling water, and finally you'll need some sort of form to bend the ring round. So we'll get on with it. Okay, you want to start by cutting yourself a 10mm or roughly 10mm strip of veneer. Taking one end of the veneer, you want to sand that down until it's a paper thin. So just help when you're moulding and starting your form. You can see it's paper thin on the end there. You want to have it paper thin for about 2 to 2.5 centimeters. You can see that? That's what we're looking for. So we take our saucepan. Doesn't have to be a saucepan, just something that you can hold hot water in. Pour in our hot water. Our water is boiling. Just like you would with spaghetti. Submerge the veneer in the water and leave it to sit for, I'd say, 5 to 10 minutes. Thicker veneers you want to leave a bit longer, but the one I'm using should be ready in about 10 minutes. So I just break them and I'll be back shortly. So it's been about 10 minutes. I'm going to pull the veneer out of the water now because it should be quite pliable. I'm just going to pat the veneer dry a little bit with tissue. Just take off the excess water. Starting with the side that you sanded, You want to get yourself a metal form. You can use a socket set. I'm using a circle cutter. You can use anything that's solid and round. Just start bending the veneer around upon itself. I don't know if you can see that. And keep on going right the way around. Try and keep it as tight as possible and square as possible. So you have something that looks like that, completely wrapped around. Now, carefully taking some masking tape, just go around the outside of the veneer. Slip the foam off, and that's how you bend the veneer. So what you want to do is leave that to dry overnight. 24 hours on a nice summer's day like today. A couple hours drying in the sunshine. That should be ready to go. In true maker's style, here's one I did yesterday. As you can see, it's held in a circular form really well. Springs back in on itself. And that's what we'll end up with after 24 hours drying period. Another useful but not completely essential part of kit for making rings are this ring gauge. For the ring I'm making today, I'll be using this as a form, and it should be comfortable in a T size, UK T size. See, it fits nicely on there. These aren't essential, but if you're making them for a business, then I suggest you get one. It makes things easier. Okay, so once you know what size ring you're going to make, you've made a form to bend the ring around. The next step is to take your veneer and do a bit of a test roll. See how much veneer you need. So you start off with the side that you sanded. Get it on your form, and you want to wrap around 3 times. So that's once, twice, three times round. Just go a little bit over 3. If I bend it there, I can cut it there, and that's how long I need it. So now you have your veneer cut to length. The next step is to get the sanding paper out again. I forgot to say earlier, this is 150 grit. Anything between 150 and 240 grit is good for this bit. So just take the side that you've cut, and again you want to sand this down till it's paper thin. And this will help aid the seam when it comes to gluing and finishing. It's nearly there. The next step is gluing. So you want to take your form The idea behind this is that you glue the veneer to the veneer, not to the form. That makes sense. So what I like to do, I like to try and get nice and tight on the first one. Before I start. This is just a medium thick CA adhesive or super glue, and I find it easier to apply with a cocktail stick. Could wear gloves doing this. I find that gloves can be a little bit tricky as they like to stick to the veneer more than your skin. Just try and straighten that up as you bend it round. Spread the glue around and hold in place. Do this every about 3 centimeters worth. Hold it in place, let the glue hold. And there we go, the bases of our ring. So just repeat that process all the way around. When it comes to doing the last little bit, instead of holding it over your finger, because you will stick to it, use the cocktail stick to flatten that paper thin end down. And there we have the Bentwood ring. It really hasn't taken all that long to make, apart from the drying period of the veneer. And now it's ready for finishing. It's my favourite step. So now we're going to roughly shape the ring to the size we want. Should be between 5mm and 8mm wide. I think this one will be about 6 by the time I finish with it. So you get your 150 grit sandpaper again, and nice figure of 8 patterns. On both sides. So after its first shaping, it's come out looking quite nice, as you can see. So now we'll move up through the sandpapers up to around about 600 grit and slowly shape the ring before we give it its final coating and polishing. This final bit of wet and dry paper I'm using is 600 grit, and that's the final bit of the shaping of the ring. As you can see, you've given more beveled edges to the ring, so it's not so sharp for the wearer. This step will take a little bit of practice, but it really isn't too difficult. As long as you keep the ring shape. It's come out quite well. I'm just using a Cottonwool bud and some surgical spirit just to give it a clean. Take off any of that excess wood dust from sanding before we give it its final finish. Okay, so now we have our nice dry, clean Bentwood ring. It's time to give it its finish. Probably one of the easiest finishes to give, and quite effective finishes is a CA finish or super glue finish. You will need your activator spray for this part, and it can be a bit tricky, but with a bit of practice you get some great results. So again, using a medium thickness glue. Right. You see that? Start spreading the glue evenly with a cocktail stick. Don't put too much on to begin with. Just try and get that coat even. And give it a blast. And then it goes touch dry. You're going to be giving it at least 3 coats on the outside, through the outside edge on both sides, and about 2 to 3 coats on the inside as well. And we'll crack on with that. I'll put it on time lapse so you can watch, but see the finish. As you can see, the ring now is completely coated in super glue, which is rock hard. We'll go on to the final step, which will be shaping the super glue and polishing it up. And for that we'll start off with a 240 grit paper and just start roughing it up and reshaping the ring. This will take a little bit of time, and you will feel like you're not doing anything, it's just making it cloudy. But trust me, eventually you'll get a great finish on it. So we're going to progress up from 240 all the way up to 15,000. You don't have to go as far as 15,000. At 5,000 you can still get a good finish on it, but we're going to go for this ring all the way up to 15,000 grit. As you can see, just the P5000, you get a really nice shine on the ring. But we're going to use a 12,000 grade, polish it up even more. Basically just taking all the scratches off, or as many as we can. It's really starting to shine now. Now the final grade of paper we're going to use is 15,000. Again, this is a micro mesh, but this is a wet and dry paper. It's really getting to give it a good shine. You don't need a rotary tool or polisher to get a good shine on the ring. Just some wet and dry and a lot of elbow grease. Clean off any of the excess CA glue. There you have it. That's how you make high-end Bentwood rings entirely by hand. If you've enjoyed this video, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, and get notified when I do other videos. I'll be doing a few ring videos. I'll be showing you how to make a two-tone ring next. Same principle, two different colour bits of veneer, and I'll show you how to join the two. Thank you for watching.